Welcome to Dina 6 TV, Logan. So wonderful to have you today.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, I checked out all your work and I watched your 10 impactful films of 2015, and I watched 9 of the 10.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I love it. I'm a cinephile, and the only way to grow is to watch other people's suggestions. So I got 9.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I watched 10, and then I came to the end and there was only 9 films I had. So I have to go back. Excuse me.
What's stood out to you so far? What's been your favorite?
Oh my God. Well, Ghost Story
Mm,
and what was the other one? Blind Spotting.
yeah.
Two stands out.
Yeah, I'm really glad you like the movies on that list. Those
I
have
loved
all
it. Yeah.
they've all, personally impacted my own storytelling. So
Yeah. Yeah, I would never and will never again pick out a horror on my own. Horror is not my genre. So, I really appreciate you know, uh different variety of films that I would never, ever, ever, ever on my own watch. But your
yeah.
your, your partner in that is Mal Shannon.
Yeah, that's my really good friend Mal Shannon.
Yeah, but let's get to you. And I'm so happy to have you on the show today. Kind of recent to filmmaking, 2017. But I have to tell you, the work that I saw of yours, it's just so rich. And so the quality of your work, it's just so well done. I commend you. Did you go to film school?
No, I didn't. I studied biology. I was, supposed to be a doctor for my whole life. So the whole film endeavor has just been a complete 180 from studying science for, 20, 21, 22 years, and then getting out of school. I worked in the medical industry in sales and marketing, and I just hated it. So that kind of began my whole crazy meandering journey into film, and I've been going at it nonstop since 2017, and I'm absolutely in love with it.
Come on, you could tell. How do your parents feel about your little U-turn?
I think they like it.
Good.
Even though growing up, I was definitely encouraged to, study STEM because of, how important it is and how secure it is. I think they're really, really hyped about the stuff I'm putting out, and I think they see that I'm happy. So I think they appreciate that. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. I started off when I was making the transition from the marketing gig in the medical industry. I started off studying voice acting
Yeah, what
because,
a voice you have. I have to tell you, phenomenal voice.
oh, thank you so much. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
you saying that.
yeah.
I was really like enamored by voice acting as a kid because I was a big gamer. I loved animated movies, and my older brother and I, we would always look up. We always knew who did the voices, even when I was like 8 years old. Nobody was into voice acting who's an 8-year-old, but I knew exactly who did the voices in the video game. We would research them on our dial-up connection, and
Ah, no, of
I,
course not. 8 years old. Wow.
yeah. So I
Brother
started off with.
filmmaker?
No. My older brother has been an artist his whole life, but he is a illustrator and a painter.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So,
So eight
you know,
years old, here you are, the two of you naming every single person that's doing voiceover. Your
yeah,
parents should have known then there was not going to be a doctor produced.
yeah. I should have known better. The writing's been on the wall since I was a little
Yeah.
kid. I was always really good at like drawing as a kid, and I don't know. I think, and I think a lot of adults experience this as well, but I think we tend to close off certain things if they don't fit our own personal narrative.
Sure.
And I know for me, growing up, I really valued conventional success, like through material and through money. I don't know why, but I really, really valued that. And I used to
Well, I love
think,
honesty. Thank you for your honesty. It's great.
oh yeah, I mean, I think it's an important thing to put out there because it just totally led me down the wrong path. I used to laugh at people that said follow your dreams. I thought that was hokey pokey.
Wow.
And I had to experience unhappiness following that false narrative in order to realize that there really is something to doing what you love. And now I'm really grateful to say I'm able to do this stuff for a living, and it's awesome.
Fantastic. I wish you all the success. And it's so many times people don't realize that even though you're a quote unquote artist, You know, you're not just a painter or a, that you, artists just are so varied, you know what I mean? From photographer to director to writer to, it's just the creativity. When you finally realize that, wow, I want to go to the creative route, does it sprout some creativity?
Yeah.
It cannot be stopped.
Yeah, and I think that's why I love film. Like you said, like art is so multifaceted. Film, especially with how many disciplines go into a single frame of a film, it's so cool, especially on the indie route, because you know, up until recently, I would wear like five hats. Five hats on set. I would be doing audio sometimes, camera sometimes, cinematography, directing all at the same time. And you just see like, wow, I get why there is a unique expert on like big sets for just this, because each element of filmmaking, so much goes into it. And I don't think I'll ever lose my fascination of that, because I mean, it's a lifelong journey just to, you know, get better and better and better at directing, but to want to get great at like cinematography, directing, audio, editing, color, you know, you need multiple lifetimes. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just in love with the whole process.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Somebody gave me advice. They said, find the thing that you're the least great at and find somebody who's the best at. And that's when you'll start really to produce some fantastic work. That you don't have to be great. Although you love everything, you're not going to be great at everything. And that's where the collaboration comes in. When you find your community and you find people that, you know, you trust to do that piece, where you can sit back and direct, you know, and, you know, not wear so many hats. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And that's absolutely where I am in my career right now. I've gone through the trenches. I've done stuff with like, you know, 1 to 3 man shoots, and it's so awesome and you learn so much, but I'm ready to surround myself with other passionate people who are really good at what they do, so that, you know, I can sit back and kind of work my niches and then observe and learn from them. So I think with my latest film project, if I could tell you, I've sort of found that with, you know, that community of filmmakers where we have people who are really good at their discipline, whether it be acting or cinematography or art department. And I can just kind of sit back and direct and let them, you know, do their thing and just absorb and be a sponge. It's a really small team. So like we're all like interacting nonstop, but it's going to be really a cool process to just let the cinematographer Jung do his thing and kind of just really focus on like performance and big picture stuff. So yeah, this is my first time not operating.
You rehearse a lot? Do you rehearse your actors a lot? Or what's your process?
That's been my thing the last probably year and a half. I learned the hard way from doing a bunch of films that like not rehearsing just eats a ton of production time. And, you know, time on set is probably the most valuable resource. So yeah, nowadays I rehearse as much as they're willing to commit to the time. You know, I look at my time for rehearsal as disposable. I'll give as much time as the talent is willing to commit, because if you can get, you know, 3 or 4 days of rehearsals out, then by the time you get to set, you're a well-oiled machine that could buy you an extra, you know, 3 angles or an extra takes. And who knows, without, you know, if you have to spend 5 takes just getting out like the mistakes,
just
the flubs,
forget it.
Yeah, so I try and rehearse as much as possible, and it's been a game changer for me.
Yeah, to just put all your attention on being a director on a piece is really gold. It's really a priceless process to get to know these actors and, you know, the story. And I love it too. I love it too. So good luck, and
thank you.
Enjoy, soak up that whole. If I could tell you, is the life, really a small slice of life of Katie Lynn Johnson's story about.
Yeah.
And
those are the types of stories I like. As you know, from my top 10 most impactful film list, I tend to like those stories that are like very slice of life, even if they explore much bigger concepts and themes. Like you could take, you know, Ghost Story, for example. The whole first act of that is very just like a slice of this, you know, this couple's life and what they're going through. And then it tends to, you know, zoom out a little bit and explore, you know, space, time, love, loss. But I just really connect with stories that are like very grounded. Those types of films that can be so visual and beautiful and like draw your attention to lighting and good performance, but still have a lot to say.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do as a filmmaker. So
maybe you'll take one from me, since
yeah.
I recently saw Malcolm and Marie. It's just out.
Oh, I
2021.
loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I knew you did already. Wow. I knew it. I knew
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah, that was talk about slice of life. That was like such a character study.
Yeah.
And those two actors, man, it's like I had seen is it Grover Washington?
No. Oh my God. What's
his first name? It's Denzel's son.
Oh, for Pete's sakes. That's terrible.
Yeah, I'm so bad with names, especially with actors.
Don't worry about it. We love him anyway. I love him. I saw him on Ballers years ago. I've been in love with him since then.
He's terrific. And I feel like this was like the best thing I had seen him in.
Wow.
And yeah, that was just incredible visually, like performance wise. So yeah,
I knew
that was really cool.
already. I'm like, there's no way I'm giving this young man a movie.
Oh, I saw the trailer and I was okay, done deal. That's what I'm watching.
Done deal. Oh my God, it was so exciting. I was glad to see that one of my all-time favorite films is Moonlight, and I was glad to see that you gave it an
honorable mention.
Yeah,
the only reason it wasn't on the list is because it had already gotten so much attention that I felt like let me put some that not everybody knows about. Moonlight's a masterpiece. I love that director Barry Jenkins. He's absolutely killing it.
And can you imagine? He almost gave up. He went back. It was made in Miami, of course. And he gave up. He was about to leave LA and then he wins the Academy Award. It's like, this is the true story of like, never, ever, hang on for dear life, because a good story is going to get told, and it was just such a beautiful and really surprising story. It was just, wow. Yeah. I think that's what makes a film special, is that third element, you know what I mean? And in art is that third and that fourth element, it's not just the story about two men, it's really incredible. Barry Jenkins.
Yeah, there's so much to appreciate in that film. I mean, aside from the obvious, like the performance and the story, I always think about the color in that film.
When that young man in that water, the color of that film, stunning. I've seen it so many times. It's just creamy, beautiful. I joke with everybody is we can only go 30 minutes because even Brad Pitt, nobody's watching him further than that. So I want to stick to you because I really appreciate you coming on. And so upstate New York is really killing it. I wanted to talk a little bit about the flavor of the East Coast filmmaking industry that's really doing well. And upstate is like killing it.
Yeah. A lot of I've seen a lot of really good indie films that have been shot in the Hudson Valley area, which is I'm just north of the Hudson Valley area. I went to high school in the Hudson Valley, and aside from there being like tax incentives, et cetera, I think if you live in this area, so many people shoot in the city, but if you want something that isn't a cityscape, you cannot beat this area. It's jaw-dropping beautiful. We have the Adirondack Mountains, the Catskill Mountains. There's just, I grew up working on the sheep farm, so that's where I shot because I had access to it for free. And there's just like a million locations like that, we don't have, we have a lot of really talented filmmakers here, but it's not like a major market quite yet. So all these beautiful spots are just like asking, to be a set piece for something. So it's a really cool place to shoot.
Through a scene, and I said, "What is that farm?" I bet you that was the sheep farm where you ran through when you dove into something. I watched. Was that the farm?
Right.
Yeah.
That was my first movie I ever made, Hollow Road, and I shot the whole thing on a sheep farm.
Road. Before we do talk about Hollow Road, I want people to understand. Here you are, set to be a doctor, no film school, and then all of a sudden you have this desire to create. Did you just pick up the pen and just start writing Hollow Road? Tell me a little bit about the process that you came from, it's super interesting.
Well, yeah, it's a bizarre process. So when I was doing the voiceover thing, they always tell you, well, if you're going to be a good voice actor, you have to have acting ability. So go take some acting classes. Took acting classes, was loving it, like in-person stuff.
Okay, so
And
let me
then
stop you there first. So you were doing voiceover when you were going to medical school?
no, I was already 4 years out of school and was really depressed and
Right.
hating my job and just not doing anything with my life. So that's when I started, okay, something's got to change here. So at 23, let's start exploring voiceover. Okay, you got to take acting classes. I studied with Rick Wasserman, who's the voice of the AMC network. I took voiceover lessons with him, and that was one of his top tips is go study acting. He's a talented stage actor himself. So following that advice, I started with the acting, and then I was doing some student films and watching these kids, do all the production stuff. It just like demystified it for me. I guess I never thought growing up, like, how do you actually make the movie? So seeing them like set up a shot, get an angle, cut, move the camera 30 degrees, somebody else is getting the audio. I just kind of demystified the process for me. And I had the crazy thought, oh, I bet I could do that. So I went home and
You just got to see it
that
once.
summer.
That's all.
Yeah. Early summer, I wrote Hollow Road. I think I wrote it like in one feverish, caffeine-fueled afternoon.
How many pages?
Well, I think it's been a while since I've seen it. I think it's like a 25, 30-minute film or something. So
Did you write note form or script form, like right off out of the head? Did you start in notes?
I'm so type A. I made sure to like look up like the do's and don'ts. So I got Writer Duet, which is like free software.
Wow.
Yeah. I just dove in head first.
Script. That's it. Bang. 25.
Wrote it. Yeah. Brought it to this student director who I had acted in one of his films and said, hey man, like, will you help me with this? I don't know anything about camera. And he did. And we shot it in I think 3 or 4 days. And it was just nonstop adrenaline rush.
Hey, what is it about?
It's about a young guy who leaves his job in New York City, hates his job.
You have to write what you know. Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah. And he moves to this sheep farm to kind of like start his life over.
Hey.
And turns out that some bad stuff happened, and there are some people that are out to get him. So I won't spoil it, but it's kind of like an action horror thriller. So it was fun. Yeah.
I'm just so happy that you took things and were inspired, and just like having the analytical mind, you just buy the duet and you just write the script. And in 4 days,
I just Googled and YouTubed everything. And that's like the craziest thing about this world we live in. If you want to be a rocket scientist, you can look stuff up on Google and YouTube. And I'm not saying you're going to get hired by NASA tomorrow, but you can learn a lot just from Googling and YouTubing. So I just started by, looking up stuff on YouTube, learning the basics of a camera, cinematography, screenwriting, that type of stuff. And I already had some talent for writing to begin with.
Sure.
But, working in science and studying science, it's like the most boring writing you could possibly do. It's so formulaic. So it was really like cathartic to finally be able to write something creatively. So I would just like feverishly type, and it was awesome. It was really cool.
Wow. You just got, it's, I think they say 1% of the people that actually have an idea actually get it on paper. And then like a half of the 1% of the people that actually get it on paper actually shoot it. So it was a huge endeavor that you did. And, you immortalized this story, and, which is so unheard of, you would think that with all this content, a lot of people are doing it. No, it's really-
And I learned, part of it came from naivete, is like just not realizing how much went into it. And I was running on a nonstop adrenaline rush. So I think we had like 16-hour shooting days, but everybody else who weren't experiencing this same like metamorphosis as I was at the time, they thought I was crazy for like wanting to shoot nonstop. And I think like in retrospect, I definitely like worked everybody else on set a little bit too hard, because you can't always expect everybody to like feel what you're feeling in the moment. But because of my naivete and the help from the others, I was able to get through that. I don't know, like if I knew what actually went into it ahead of it, I don't know if I would have, had the gumption to just do this thing. I just kind of went in somewhat blindly. And because of that, I wasn't going to not finish it. There was no way in hell. you know, I did it, and it was like, oh, okay, this is awesome. And I got to premiere it at a theater, which is like
It's amazing.
unheard of for your first film. So I think the film guys just got together for that film, and they were like, Logan, this is your thing. You got to stick with this. So they just rewarded me with that whole process. And it hasn't all been rainbows and butterflies since then, but you know, I'll never forget that adrenaline rush and that excitement. And I still feel that on set today.
Tell people where they can find you.
So in terms of, well, first of all, my website, which is just my name, loganrando.com. I post, you know, my latest work on there, all the stuff I can put out at least. Same thing with YouTube. All my work that's public and not, you know, currently in a festival circuit or something, just search Logan Rando on YouTube. And then I'm pretty active on Instagram, which is just logan.rando.
That's great. Do you have anything in festivals right now?
So my big film of the summer, Daydreams of a Drowning Girl, that is submitted to, you know, probably 10 festivals, and I'm hoping I should start hearing back this spring.
Oh, I love it. That's why I didn't see that on your website, Daydreams of a Drowning Girl.
Yeah, so I have the trailer on my YouTube. The film itself is still private, you know, pending festival decision. But if it doesn't get into anything, I'll just put it out there public. And you know, to this date, that's the film I'm most proud of. It's very, very visual. That is, I want to say 15 minutes or so, maybe like 14 minutes.
No, you have a great quality to your work, and a really good quality to your work. I really think it's, what a great conversation, Logan. I really appreciate you coming on, and I'll put it on Wednesday. I didn't go live because I have this crazy cousin that comes down and she's 5 years old, and she's been busted into my videos.
Oh, so man.
I'm not putting them on live YouTube, and I'll do some editing, and then I'll put it up on Wednesday. So I'll send it to you when it's time.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Good luck with everything. I really wish you and your team, and you know, lots and lots of success.
Thank you so much, and likewise to you. From one filmmaker to another, you know, let's keep on making stuff. The world needs it these days.
That's it.